Hi, I'm Mario Guerra, former mayor of the great city of Downey, and I'm here with my partner, Eric Pierce, the editor of the Downey Patriot. And we're here talking Downey with Mario
and Eric.
Eric, what's happening? Happy Friday to you. We tape on Fridays.
We're taping Friday. I think, Friday's a good day for me because the paper's done and we're heading to the weekend. Friday's always a great day.
Yeah. I've always wondered about that because, every week, Monday you got to start a whole new front page, new paper outline. And I couldn't handle the pressure of having to do it 52 times.
It's a lot of fun, and luckily Downey keeps us busy because the big question that I get all the time is, what's happening in Downey? Like, how do you find stuff to write about?
Yeah.
There's a lot happening in Downey.
I bet.
News, there's lots of interesting people. I mean, we have 13,000 people here in Downey.
Right.
There's always something to write about. You just have to go out there and find it.
Yeah. Eric, how do you deal, and I know I always look forward to the letters to the editor. I'm kind of always curious. I go out to the paper, I want to see who's complaining, and there's some typical gaffe. There's a person, I'm not going to mention her name, gosh, they write a letter every week, and I think he thinks he's really smart, but you look at it and you roll your eyes. But you must get a lot of letters to the editor. How do you decipher them?
It's tough. It's not a perfect science because we probably get more letters that we don't publish than we do actually.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they'll come in anonymously, or they'll come in with misinformation, or it's just name calling. It's calling people names, and it gets very vicious. Sometimes we'll get people talking to each other through the letters, and for a normal person, average person, they don't really care.
Right.
So it's kind of tough. 10, 15 years ago, we would have like full pages of letters to the editor.
Right.
But this is before social media really took off.
Right.
Now people tend to just kind of go on Facebook, whatever. So the number, the quantity of letters, I think has fallen a little bit.
Yeah.
But they're always interesting to read, definitely.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember when I was first elected, you didn't have the social media that we have today.
Yeah.
So the Patriot, especially the website, was the go-to thing. So at the end of every article, there was a combination of people you can respond to it. And I remember as an elected official, I really would go there. I would actually respond back on there and stuff. And you stopped that, I guess, because you got social media.
Same thing. We used to have comments on our website, thedowneypatriot.com, and it just got out of control.
Yeah.
People, they feel that they're anonymous online, and they feel emboldened to just say things and be really mean, say really hateful comments. And it's just, it's not the place for it, If there was like really rational civil discussion, that would be fantastic.
Right.
It's just not realistic anymore.
Yeah.
It's too bad.
Yeah.
I miss those days.
I know, me too, because I used to, I took it literally like, hey, let's go look at the street that somebody's complaining about something.
Absolutely.
So, all right,
Mario,
so what's going on?
Today we're going to talk about, there's lots that we can talk about. Today though, we're going to talk about Downey Unified School District and a potential new bond measure. I say new because we've already had a couple. We'll get into that. Alex Dominguez, staff writer, Downey Patriot, he wrote a really good story in this week's Downey Patriot. His story is concerning a survey that Downey Unified commissioned to see whether another bond measure would pass. According to the poll, it could pass. It will be tough. It can go either way, but they feel pretty confident a new bond measure could pass. The school board has not made a decision yet. We should see a decision pretty soon because it will be on the November ballot. So I am going to want to get your opinion on this. According to Alex's story, a new bond measure would cost the average homeowner around $194 per year. Additionally, on top of what you're already paying, and you actually got a copy of your property tax bill. We're gonna peek at it. So this total bond would total about $504 million. From what I've heard, it would primarily be used towards the elementary schools. But so what's your big finance?
Well, first of all, look at your headline on the story.
The headline is "Voters may support another Downey Unified bond measure poll says.
Okay, I thought that was almost too positive because the numbers are actually below the numbers in the polling now that they did in their own report from their own consultant. It's below whatever it is. So I guess it means that they have to go out some convincing you can raise it up.
There's lots of undecided.
There's undecided, but it sounded almost like it would versus, hey, they're below the number. So I don't know. I read that at first. I'm like, oh wow, it's going to happen. And then I read the article, which was well done.
Right.
So I just think.
Well, and that's the thing with numbers and stats, and in any case, you can always skew them however. You want to.
Yeah. So well, when I first read that, and again, I mean, we have some amazing schools here. I am so proud of Downey Unified School District. They have great people, always had great school board members, leadership. Our teachers are second. And Downey Unified, the Teachers Union Association is the highest paid teachers in all of LA County. And you know what, as a homeowner, I'm proud of that. I don't have any problems paying for that and being part of it because you get what you pay for and you have a really good system. So having said that, and I know that my value on my home, like everybody else here in Downey, it is proportionate by having a good school district, having a good city, having police and fire protection and so forth. So all that is part of it. So I'm trying to qualify that because I really do believe that, and I voted for 3 of the past bonds. But we're paying for 3 bonds right now. My only problem right now is that it's this year.
Right.
And it's right in the middle of this, inflation of, some of the things that are happening today. I mean, the tail end of the pandemic, you have a lot of different uncertainty. So I'm just saying, is this the right time to add more cost to people's, property taxes? So I'm undecided from that standpoint. So I looked at my property tax bill.
Do you mind sharing it?
No, I don't. This is actually my wife sent me a picture of it and I printed it up here. She sent it for the house. So my property tax bill is, I pay, twice a year, $64.62. So that is $12,000, $13,000 a year. Now, having said this, the property tax bill, how it's valued, is not in relation to real estate value. My house is worth more than what I'm paying.
There's a
property.
difference.
There is a difference. Now this is, values your house, your land, and your taxable value, that kind of stuff on there, right? So I'm not paying for the full amount. But I'm paying $13,000 a year. So out of that, for Downey schools, I'm paying $614 twice. So I'm paying $1,228 for Downey extra bonds on top of the $13,000 that's in there. So I'm looking at this. So the community college is $274 times 2, so that's $500, $550, and the school district. It kind of concerned me when I saw I'm paying $1,200. So that was the average that was quoted there, 194. So times 2 is 380.
Right.
Probably for my house a little bit above the average, so it's probably another $500 a year. Now I'm not the target because I'm almost in retirement, and I understand that I'm not. I've already raised my kids, but it seems like a lot. It just seems like the timing is wrong. As much as I want our schools and our kids to have it. Now the other part is, I always felt I was double dipping, and I'm proud of that. That's my choice I made, because for my family, I felt I wanted religious schools because that's my faith, and I had to pay for it. That's my choice. So I always figured I always paid for schools and never used it, right?
Sure.
So and that's still the case. My kids are all grown and stuff like that. They're not going to Downey schools. But having said that, I'm a little bit nervous.
You're on the fence.
I'm on the fence, and I'm on the fence from a timing standpoint, from how it's going to impact other people in the community. Listen, $500, I don't like it, but it's not going to kill me. But it's going to hurt a lot of other people that maybe aren't in the same position, retirement, part of life, raising their kids. So,
yeah, absolutely.
What are your thoughts on that?
So I was telling you earlier. So I'm also a homeowner. I pay property taxes.
Yeah.
The way I don't get an annual tax bill. I pay into a monthly escrow account.
Right.
And I just got notified a couple weeks ago that my monthly escrow is going up $170 a month due to rising taxes in
Right.
in different areas. But I'm a little, I don't want to say I'm playing devil's advocate, but I'm leaning towards supporting it, or I'm likely to support it. For this reason, I'm a little biased because I served on the Measure O oversight committee for Downey Unified.
Right.
And the oversight committee, so whenever you pass a bond measure, the school district is required to put together a committee of people from the community who will make sure that the money is spent responsibly. And so I was able to do that with Measure O, which is a bond that improved most of our high schools and did a lot of great things. So I was able to see firsthand the huge difference that the bond made within our community, in our high schools and our middle schools. And it does feel now like the last piece would be our elementary schools. It does feel like they're a step behind. And so I don't have any kind of doubt that this isn't a worthy investment.
Right.
I don't like paying, I don't mind paying taxes. I don't like overpaying for taxes.
Right.
And I feel in California we overpay in taxes in so many ways. We have such a surplus, and we have the state has so much money it literally doesn't know what to do with all its money.
Right.
But I don't think we should punish Downey Unified for that. I'm confident that this extra money that's be coming out of my pocket is going to be staying in Downey, and I think it is an investment in our Downey schools. I don't have any kids, but as a property owner, I still benefit because we want to live in a community where we have good quality schools, whether we have children or not. So I'm likely to support it.
So where do you think our school tax money goes? Don't we pay it to California? They're supposed to give it to the school district. So my only concern is, and I agree with you, I know Downey Unified would manage it well, but they're already supposed to be getting money. I mean, whether they are or not, I'm not, I'm not knowledgeable enough to know that, right?
And neither am I, but it's a good point.
Right, but I mean, evidently California pays the most to their schools of any other state per kid and so forth, whether that's the right formula or not. But they're supposed to be paying for repairing the buildings and everything else. So again, that's the part that I have a problem with. And it's like, but we already have 3 bonds because we believed you and we trust you.
Sure.
So here's a 4th bond. So where does it end? It's like, to me, it's like the continuation of taxes. And you know what? In all of us, we always make fun of our, everybody says, oh my God, Congress is messed up. But I like my congressperson.
Yeah.
So everybody throughout the country does the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, terrible, Congress gets a 30% rating. Oh, but my person's, is good.
We really like them.
Right, we really like it. So I think it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, we hate taxes.
Right.
We don't want to pay more, but we like our local stuff.
Right.
But so that's what concerns me. At what point?
It's a bigger picture.
Yeah, where do we stop getting paid? I'm tired.
Right.
So, okay, let me go on this.
Yeah.
Okay, now that I'm on a tangent here, thank you for allowing me this little tangent. So this is every 6 months. So I have a district assessment. First of all, you have community colleges 264, Downey Unified 614. Direct, safe, clean water, $166.87. What I'm saying is, when I look at these assessments, don't we already have clean water and we have a Downey thing, and aren't we paying for our water bill? So this is over and above. I know, over and above. LA County Vector Control, another $14.67, so it's $30 a year. Okay. Lighting District, number 3, and Lighting District number Z, so that's $18 and another $7. I have MWD, which is what, Metropolitan Water District, I guess. Standby number 13, another $10. CB MWD, another 10. Here's a good one, the Trauma Emergency Services, $127.03. So that's $250 a year. Right. So I get that, but I want emergency trauma services, but where's all my other taxes going?
See, and I get what you're saying. I don't mean to interrupt you. Because look, I don't mind paying taxes. I think it's we have to pay for our services somehow.
Right.
I think it's a American thing to do. Like I would gladly pay taxes. You just don't want to overpay. But how do you know if you're overpaying?
Right. Well, all these things we obviously voted on.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's an addition to in county sanitation 181. So my property tax bill is $6,462. plus all this.
Right.
Okay, twice a year. So but my only problem is we always feel sorry when we get these propositions, okay? We need to vote for this, we need to vote for Children's Hospital, we get it.
Right.
We get to vote for that. So, but we forget that we voted for that 2 years ago, and where's that money going to? There's one this year, a proposition, and I don't, I guess I don't have an opinion on it yet, but it's to tax rich people so we can pay for schools, for music and something else for the schools.
Yeah.
Which is great. Of course we want music education and all this stuff. But don't we have $100 billion left over? Shouldn't that be paid for? Why do we have to do a new tax? And then later on is a new tax. So that's, okay, I'm gonna rant. I'm gonna calm down because.
But you make a very good point that a lot of these taxes have been approved by voters.
Yeah.
So it's hard for people to complain when you voted for it.
Right.
And I think part of the problem, and now I'm kind of going off on a tangent, is so many of these amendments or propositions or whatever have such misleading titles, and I wish we could fix that somehow.
Yeah.
Like have like an independent committee or something that would give like a really neutral, title to them.
Right.
Because when it's something like save our hospitals, vote yes, and blah blah blah, most people are going to vote in support of it. You know, it's very misleading.
Well, I'll tell you, it is very misleading because it's politics. The Attorney General gets to set the wording, right? And before we had Kamala Harris was our Attorney General, and now Rob Bonta. But they do, and they have to, when you have a one political state like California, they taint it that way. Because remember the road gas taxes, okay? So it came to the voters, okay? So legislators passed a huge tax increase, the largest in the history of the state and the country, right? Because we needed good roads, okay, get it. But then they put it up for the people on there to vote on it. So because they had just passed it, what the ballot proposition said is, not do you want to increase taxes to this level to pay for this? It says, do you want to have less roads being fixed, kind of blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
So it turned it around. And so people are like, no, I don't want less roads to be fixed. But it's like, no, you don't understand.
Yeah.
That's over and above.
Sure.
So,
Well, I remember, with our whole Downey firefighters, petition, and they were asking people to save the Downey Fire Department when, in fact, the petition
was
the complete opposite.
Yeah.
It's
Thank goodness, because I tell you right now, with our council and with our district council, that's a whole other subject. But I tell you, yes, bottom line was, because I'll tell you real fast, it was the Downey Fire Union wanted to put it on the ballot to take the vote away from the people. Our city charter says it needs to be 2/3 before we can go to LA County Fire or LA County Sheriff. And they wanted to do it with the council. We had 3 of the 5 council. So we put it on the ballot, they put it on the ballot, and 87% of the residents says no. We want control.
87%, that's incredible.
That is incredible. But they were trying to mislead it. Say Downey Fire, it actually would have been the other way out. So right now, you can have 3 people on the city council that could have voted, say, we want to go LA County Fire or LA County Sheriff's.
Interesting.
And that would have happened. So thank goodness. So stay vigilant.
So Downey School Bond, any final thoughts before we move on?
Think about it. Okay? Make an informed decision. Let's not just push it out there. It needs, I don't know if it's 55% or 2/3.
And it's not official yet.
It's not official.
As of this recording, the school board hasn't officially decided whether to put it on the November ballot. I think they're going to, but we don't know yet for sure.
And so if they hear this, it's like, just think about the timing. Think about adding an extra X. And then don't just say it's pennies, because look, you're a nice guy, but you just got an additional $172 a month.
Oh, yeah.
So you got over $2,000 a year more that you weren't counting on,
100%.
and so forth. So when you add these bond measures to that, and there are real ramifications and consequences. I heard one of the school board members says, "Oh, it's $500 million. So by the time we go around the building, at the building costs, we're only going to get $250 million worth of stuff." And I roll my eyes. It's like, it's us. We're paying for this. So
I don't think you're on the fence. I think you made a decision.
I made a decision that I don't want to pay more taxes.
Yeah.
I made a decision that I'm paying 3. I believe so much in our schools that I'm paying for 3 bond measures that the school district has. That's how important I think it is. So to put it in this recession, because we are legally in a recession, and all this other stuff on there, I just think the timing is bad.
Okay.
We're going to keep you informed because, the gloves are off. I mean, him and I are now, the gloves are off. We need to protect our city, and we're going to talk about it, and that's the best thing we can do is be informative.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mario.
Good. Hey, good episode. Thank you, Eric, on there. Hope you enjoyed it. Send us some information of what you'd like to hear in the future. We got some good episodes coming up. We already taped. So thanks for listening and talking down. Oh my goodness. Okay, we can't end this on there. We should have said it at the beginning.
Yeah.
We got to say it at the end. Okay. Our sponsor is Financial Partners Credit Union. Been here 85 years. Amazing people that does great things for financial stability for not only our residents on there. They have 80,000 members, and also they're involved. Their leadership and involvement in the community. The CEO is president of the chairman of the Columbia Memorial Space Center. Tony, their branch manager for the Downey office, just got installed as president again. Downey. They're big sponsors. Rocket Fever, it's coming up.
They do so much for the Downey community. We're not just saying that; they really do.
No, they really do. So, but we almost forgot, and then they decided that our podcast was worthy to be commutative, informative. That's not even words. It was.
We know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, it was good communication for our community. Okay, so they are our sponsor, and we appreciate them very much. So we can have the opportunity to reach out to you. So, anyways, so with that, thank you, Financial Partners, continuing to be our sponsor. So, this is Mario Guerra, and we're here with Eric Pierce, and you've been listening to Talking Downey with Mario
and Eric.